All right, so we are in officially, this is called long sum, short sum. It's April 1st, bright and early, 9 o'clock. We just had the opening, and we're going to check in a couple of things this morning, guys. We're going to look at XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the NASDAQ, and then do a double take on what we did with Brent crude oil, or the Black Bull, and see where we are on that. Of course, as soon as I start this section, I start coughing. All right, so you guys know that over the last few 24 hours, we've had some crazy action. Looking forward to see what happens. So before we go on a longer scale or a macro scale, let's look a little more closer to the action here. You guys see yesterday we had this fall off my 1-to-1. You know I do fib, right? Long sum, short one, we focus on Elliott wave analysis, Fibonacci, swing trading. This is kind of how I do everything with other technical indicators, but the main things that use on this show are going to be Elliott wave and the Fibonacci retracement or extension tools. Those are the main ones here outside of pivots. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up for you. Boom. Right here. The 1-to-1, we saw that. This is also our big B wave here. You got I know this says ABC. That's an automatic thing on a smaller scale, but in reality, let me do this so we can get rid of that so I don't confuse people. All right. So you got 1, 2. This is B, and this looked like C here. So in reality, I think we have a bigger correction that just happened. A, B, C. Okay. And now we are working on this impulse that took us up out of here. But what I am looking at is this could possibly be a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is another option here on XRP. It might not be done. Things are looking very bullish. I did say that I was expecting a correction a couple days ago, and because it was right at that resistance point. And that resistance point, what it did is everything broke north, which is a big sign and a good sign for us. Everything broke north, and that's what we're seeing. But after it broke north, we stepped back into that correction. So now we're trying to figure out exactly 1, 2, 3. If we're going to get a 4. And then another 5 here, and finishing this move violently down to 73 cents possibly. That's what I could be seeing. If not 73 cents, I'd say, we didn't really get all the way down, but this is the full fib is 73, 76 to 73. Now, I have buys down there, but here's my issue. Okay, here's my issue with having buys down there. And then we'll move on to some other ones real quick, okay? Is we are sitting pretty. Let me go over here. Okay, we're sitting pretty, and this is the 4-hour. We're sitting pretty overall on how this is moving up, trying to work our way slowly up above certain resistance points and support. So when we back tested that wick the other night on 77, 78 cents, as you can see here, I have an alert at 76.5, and then you guys know that my 0.5 is where I look for support. So we went right back to that on the 4-hour there, and that's pretty important to see when we're looking. However, right now we are still up under that 0.702 as far as a bigger move is concerned. So you see this move here came down, touched back the 0.5, which we always want to step, but now we're sitting under that 0.702 fib. But what I also want you to look at here on XRP is, see this here, that dotted line? You know what that is? That's my parabolic curves I like to watch. So we broke out of this parabolic curve. Again, this is the 4-hour, so it's not as definite to quickly move down. But this is the 4-hour. We're working our way up and grinding. And then we had that ABC correction. Or 1, 2, 3, working on 4, back down to 5 to touch this trend line. That downward trend line one more time, because look, we broke out of this downward trend line here, out of this parabolic curve, went up, hit the 414 of the overall massive move that we have, rejected off the R2 pivot, up under the 702, back tested the 0.5, so we have a lot of confluence going on here, okay? But I wouldn't be surprised for one more move down, because I think Bitcoin's got some to go to, and to back test this, looking at the 73 cents area again on XRP. All right, now I've got a 46.26 bullish versus bearish, leaning towards more of a pump right now because of that correction based on what happens here in Bitcoin. And as you can see here in Bitcoin that I was looking at, we continue our long sum, short sum. So I guess let me answer this. So if I'm long sum, short sum on XRP, I'm long over the next month and a half. In the short term, I'm neutral, expecting short. But at the same time, I would not be surprised based on the market moves, top of the quarter, that we go. Now, yesterday we had the dump like we normally do, and we'll go that over the NASDAQ. But I want to see what happens today in the intraday around 12 or 1, and then between 2 and 3. We'll see some fireworks here. So based on what happens in the equities market, we'll get a good idea. We'll get a good idea from there. So Bitcoin has been following this parabolic channel. Here you go, from January 24th, respecting it, and it came back actually perfectly and touched. And I'll zoom in on our down move yesterday. Touch, boom, and then impulsed out of there. So when we see this impulse out of there, this is good, as this impulse is working its way. See that line there that it broke through, and it's back testing that 1, 2, 3. So the question is, here's the pivot. Okay, this is a daily pivot. Or is that a weekly pivot? I think that's a daily. No, that's a weekly pivot, isn't it? Yeah, that's a weekly pivot. Let's throw that daily so we can see. We need to get some, there we go. Get a better idea. So the pink is your daily pivots, daily pivots, weekly pivots, right? So right now we're between the R1 and just bounced off last night, this morning. The weekly pivot, which made sense to back test that breakout. Now we'll work on our way to back test that lower trend that we broke down and that possible daily pivot. Now, could I see more room for us guys heading down? Is it possible? Yes. Now, where do I see possible? We start drawing fibs and making lines to see how this looked out. We have a top, bottom, lower, high, right? And we see that this actually went all the way down to the 3, and it's actually resistance or supporting on the 2.414, which you guys know for me personally, excuse me, that I look for these to hold. So 2.414 is here, which is nice, on top of the weekly pivot, which is nice, off the daily support S1, working our way up. You see that little rejection happening. This is on the 2 hours. So we're watching this right here, guys, to see how this breaks through. On my long sum, short sum, I know I'm neutral right now in XRP, but I'm still not done, I feel like, with the down move in Bitcoin. But let me point this out. Again, this is the parabolic curve here, right? It did not break south. So could we see this work its way down over the next couple days and then break south? Yes. Or, which is very much likely as well, it breaks back up into this channel, then grinds its way down, bouncing off this parabolic channel and working our way up towards 50K. Okay, that is a possibility where we step one more S2, but this could again, boom, and then just kind of grind a little higher high, or 48K, then a higher high and grind. Again, this right here, 55,000 to at most 59 is my top. I do not believe XRP Bitcoin will close above this level this year, but we'll see, as you know, the charts change all the time. But I believe we have topped, and all this movement here that's going to go back and forth is going to be our altcoin run. Okay, so that's what I see for Bitcoin there. So let's go ahead and don't want to close that. Oh, last but not least, Bitcoin did have that ascending channel here, as you can see. It fake broke out, back tested, did a full retrace of that move. So again, more confluence that this could be it, with a little bit of a retrace, but I am not super heavy on either side of that right now. It's just a lot of movement, a lot of wicks. Sometimes things need to reset. Now, something that is pretty bullish, and I'm going to start here from the top, is Ethereum. Okay, I'm just going to start right here. We're going to go, not the risen high, but we're going to go all the way back to last May and get our local bottom. Okay, now that's our fib. Boom, bottom, top. You know what's crazy to me is I keep seeing that, and for some reason my zero, there we go, pink, keeps getting -2. So you see here, we actually broke through this, and that's an impulse right here. See this? That's one impulse. So what impulse is that be? We'll check here in a second. It could be part of wave 3 of wave 5. I know that sounds crazy, but we'll get into that. So working its way up. Didn't quite hit this 702 here, but it is in the sandcastle, the VPVR, the visible range of buys and sells, supports, strength, weakness is kind of where I look at that, and we have gone back above that level here. So let's see here. We've got high, low, lower, high. So we're going to see where we are as far as our retracement from our November highs are concerned for Ethereum. Low. There's our low, and now look our high, and we're going to drag that over. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I leave myself some space here so I can see. So you see here, we actually had a blast off that 2.414, which I love to see on Ethereum, and that was last week. And waving, blasting up, look directly on the retrace to the 4.414 or 1.414. Again, I keep saying 414 is very important for the retrace right here, guys. Okay, so that's what I see there. Now, let's see. What else do I have here? That looks like, I see a possible rejection. You got the 702, which is also a possible rejection. But there's the back test. Target 2 was $2,000. It did not hit 2,000. It did go over the stop. So, again, I'm still sitting there. Everything's pulling back up to resistance. Again, same with Ethereum. Looking at these types. And this is the sections that we really, really want to focus and look at. Okay, we want to see what happens right there. And then we want to see what happens right here on this back test. So we're looking here at 35, basically 3,500, and back down to 3,000. Could we range in here as we try to clear this up? Yes, we can. And that's what I am looking for to do here, because that is definitely a one impulse out of there. As far as 1, 2, yeah, I believe that is wave 3. Look at that. Oh, man, look at that confluence there. I love looking for confirmations. And how do I look for confirmations? Overlapping fibs. And right now, we have it right here. That's the 1-to-1. Make sure I got that right. See that? That's the 1-to-1. Sitting on the 1.4. Confirmation, confirmation, breakout. Oh, man. Okay. So that's what we're looking for right now. I think Ethereum's going to range between 3,585 and 3,000. 3,500 and 3,000 right now. As far as long sum, short sum, I am officially neutral on the daily basis. Long term, over the next month and a half, I am long. But I would have told you last week that I was short. And right now, I'm neutral, waiting for it to figure out its range across the board. And speaking of figuring out its range across the board, you got the same thing with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ fired up. This right here, that impulse fired right on up, and now it's on top of the 50. Of that November high to that local low in March. It is now above, trying to break above, back above the 50, 1480. This is the US 100, by the way, composite. So if we can stay above 14,851, which we're struggling right now on the daily to do that. Let me zoom in for you so you can see. Okay. Struggling right now to do that. But if this holds, then I could see a test of 15.6. But we still have not back tested 14.5 yet. And I would not be surprised to see a little bit more and possibly come back to 14.2 on the NASDAQ. I think it's April. I think we finished with massive pumps. And now we're going to correct just a little bit. So, again, I could see the NASDAQ coming back to 14.5 over the next couple days. So right now, if I was in a play right at this moment, it would have to be, let's look at the RSI. Where are you at, RSI? Are you just not here anymore? We're going to get rid of that RSI, and I'm going to add another one. So, relative strength index updated. Boom. All right. See, so right now our RSI on the 2-hour is bottoming out. So in the short term, we could see a bounce here, right, to close the day. But then maybe roll over. So right now I am neutral again. It's just where I am on long, some short one. Because we got a lot of different things. We had some popping move. You got the RSI at the bottom. I'm not getting a lot of volume. It's also the end of the quarter, right? So people had to do those moves. So we're going to see call and puts, and then I'm going to go from there. So right now, if again for NASDAQ, if it can hold 1480, 14800, we'll be looking good overall because, you know, I believe crypto follows the NASDAQ and the S&P. So last but not least, and this will be in long some short one, I want to show you that I did the black bull. What is this? March 15th, guys. This is specifically from March 15th that I put on. If you guys are following me on TradingViewer on the show, I talked about crude oil and what would happen and said that it could retrace from where it was at 96 up to possibly 118. As you can see here, the lowest was the 99 area to 117. And I said after that B wave that I expect oil to come on down. So this was March 15th. This was 2 weeks ago. And now let's see how this has played out. And I know it's hard to see here, but you can see that line right there. Can I zoom in on this thing? Oh, oops, not like that. I don't. Let's reset that. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So you can see the way it's cut right here, right? That says this is where the call was made, and you can see the arrows. Now you can see them coming down. So it says officially B wave, and now it's working its way down to my target of $75. So that is one that would have been really nice for you guys to see that right there. And down. That would have been pretty cool. No, I'm just saying that would have been pretty cool. So hopefully you guys were able to get that trade. Right now I am short on the black bull. I call it the red bear right now. So that's where we are. I am neutral short term on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Long term short, or long term long as far as the next month and a half. We could see some rocky things here to finish out, to start the first quarter before firing up, because I'm very bullish on this second quarter. So with that said, guys, that is the end of this section. I hope you enjoyed long some, short some. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and do the thing that people do on social media. At Twitter, at TikTok, you know, New Creation Capital. Let us know, guys. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Later, guys.